So today's guest is someone who truly understands the value of personal relationships in financial planning. I'm pleased to welcome Dave Southby, a dedicated professional who helps individuals, families, and local businesses navigate the often complex world of finance. His client-first approach makes financial planning a collaborative and ongoing process. Dave, listen, it's great to have you here to talk about how you help people make the most out of their financial potential. How's things? How are you today?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Thanks for having me, David. Yeah, it's really nice to see you. Yeah, no, I'm doing well. Very busy, like most people, but yeah, I'm doing okay. How are you
Very
doing?
good. Yeah, very good. Well, listen, look, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to come on the show. Be great to kick us off, just giving us a bit of an idea around what it is that you do, what you do for your day job.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, absolutely. So I guess as a financial advisor, I help people with their pensions, their investments, their tax planning. I think it goes a lot deeper than that. I kind of help people almost kind of make sense of their world financially. And we kind of get a lot of people which kind of come to me and they kind of go, right, we're doing this, we've got this, we're doing this, we want to do this. And all of a sudden they kind of go, we need help. And I think that kind of puts in a bit more of a nutshell, kind of what I do, because I can then kind of sit there and have a conversation about, okay, well, what's most important to you? What are your goals? What are your objectives? Let's have a look at where you are financially in terms of your circumstances, and let's put a plan into place to kind of get you to kind of where you want to be. So yeah, I think that's kind of probably more actually what I do. Yes, I kind of advise on those kind of products, but actually it's kind of more of that discussion, understanding, and kind of solution to to their kind of problems.
Yeah, sounds good. So you're looking to how to solve some potential problems that somebody might have, but give them the results that they want. And the
Yeah,
byproduct to that is
absolutely.
the products are there to be able to deliver that result.
Absolutely. The products are almost like a vehicle. They're kind of
Yeah.
the vehicle to, and also I'm there to try to help people kind of maybe think about things that they've never thought of. There's lots of kind of nuances that actually people just weren't aware of, or and I guess that's my responsibility to kind of highlight that to them and have a different conversation and talk to them from a different perspective to kind of just give them that knowledge to hopefully kind of make better decisions going forward.
And you're a little bit more than just an independent financial advisor, aren't you? You're building a firm, so you're starting a company to build a firm. So how long have you been running for now?
So we have our third year kind of business anniversary next week. So we've been
Congratulations.
kind of, thank you very much. It's come so quickly. I had someone literally tell me last week. My sister makes the cakes, and she asked me, "Do you want another cake for this year?" And I was like, "Yeah, when is it?" She was like, "It's next week." So we've been kind of slowly building the team. So it was me for about 18 months. I then took on a kind of full-time administrator, kind of office manager, Neil. He's now been with me coming up to 18 months now as well. And we are now actively looking to recruit a kind of client relationship manager to kind of help with that kind of back office support. I'm still very much going out and seeing clients, so I'm still kind of very much the face of it. But I think what people don't understand is that it's not just me in the business, and I wouldn't be able to grow and do what I do without having the right team around me. So we're kind of just in that process of trying to kind of build that team up. And it's taken a little while to decide actually what we need and what are the gaps, and what can I do and what can Neil do, and where's the time being wasted, and that's taken a little bit of trial and error to kind of get there. But I think we're very much there now, and we've got a really good idea of kind of who we need and what we need going forward.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. Nice to see a bit of growth. Nice to see some
Yeah.
employment and things like that, because that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And
Scary sometimes, but yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Taking on a bit of responsibility other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Make for that. But you actually made a conscious decision to do a little bit of rebranding. Is that right?
Yeah, and again, this is kind of very much this kind of process of building a business. I think when I first started and when I kind of went out on my own, just having a logo, I was so excited about just having kind of my name and a logo kind of attached to it. And you kind of you know you're pedaling really quickly, and you're just trying to do everything and everything to try and build your business and get business in and ultimately make money. But when you then start getting a little bit settled and and I had it at about 18 months in, I kind of stepped back and I thought, okay, well, what direction am I going in? What do I,
Yeah.
what are my objectives? What are my values? What sort of business do I want to build? And the rebranding then kind of tagged along with it. I'm still Dave Southby Financial Planning at the moment. We've kind of rebranded that up and made it look a little bit, nicer, a little bit more professional. But actually, I want to drop the Dave part, and kind of move away and kind of build something which is probably bigger than kind of just me. And again, I think that that's very much reflective on the fact that there is a team behind me. We have got ambitions to take on other advisors, and we still have it where people pick up Neil picks up the phone and they say, "Oh, is that Dave?" And I'm like, "No, it's Neil." And actually, I think that it's that kind of bringing everything together. I think is kind of what we're kind of trying to go through at the moment.
I think we were talking about it before offline, weren't we? It's kind of that decision, that defining decision. Are you a business owner growing a business,
Definitely.
or are you a business owner that owns a job type sort of thing? And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with either of those. It's kind of,
No.
there are a lot of people out there that want to do what they're doing and don't want to grow for right reasons and
Yeah.
things. And there are a lot of people that want to grow, but it's kind of it's one or the other. You can't half-heartedly grow and half-heartedly employ somebody. It's kind of, you need to do one or the other.
Yeah, definitely. And I've found that you can't really dip your toe in, can you? And it doesn't really make commercial sense, with a lot of the time. But also just from kind of a positioning point of view, you've almost got to be on kind of one side. You got to kind of place where you are, because I think there's always a bit of confusion as to kind of who you are and what your directions. And I think, yeah, kind of going one avenue or another makes other strategic decisions a lot easier.
Very true.
And that's kind of the process that we've been going through. And it takes time. And, you do something and you think it's going to work, and then you give it a month or so, and then all of a sudden you go, it's just not, this isn't working. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. And you've kind of got to backtrack. But then every time you do that, you learn something. And then you kind of say, great, let's go again, but let's not do that bit. And it's so forth and so on. And, a lot of people kind of see the growth as kind of a very, very upward trajectory, but actually it's ups and downs.
Yeah,
Eventually you go in the right direction, but it's very much, there's kind of peaks and troughs, and it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster being a business owner as much as as much as
yeah. Yeah, a lot of people use the roller coaster definition
yeah,
so
absolutely.
there's some ups and downs and twists and turns.
Yeah.
The analogy I quite like is the sort of the space shuttle, the rocket going to the moon. Like you say, most people sort of see growth as a trajectory that's in a straight line. The
Mm,
reality is, as the shuttle's flying towards the moon, it is making corrections all the way. It's
yeah,
not a straight
definitely.
path. But
Definitely.
having that long-term vision of actually I'm going to the moon helps you set off in the right direction,
Yeah,
even though you're gonna deviate off course a little bit and have to
definitely.
correct and have to adjust.
Absolutely. And it's that direction, isn't it? It's that general
Yeah,
direction that if that's kind of where I want to go, then yes, the road is going to be kind of bendy and windy, and there's going to
yeah,
be lots of obstacles in the way. But if your general direction is in the right way, small corrections are easy to make. It's if you don't have that direction, you don't know which way you're going to start going, and
yeah.
that's where it becomes harder. And that's when I think you then lose what you're trying to build.
Yeah, very good. So over the last 3 years, then, what would you say have been the biggest challenges in the aspect of being a business owner? What have been the biggest challenges that you faced, and what sort of things did you do to overcome them?
Yeah, so one of the challenges has been, when is the right time to recruit? I think
Okay.
that has probably been the biggest thing. I was on my own doing everything for a very, very long time, and in my mind, I was thinking, if I take someone on, it's a cost. They're not going to go out and be generating. It's in my mind, it was more money that I had to then generate, and I was in this kind of ups and downs, in this kind of frame of mind for quite a long time, thinking, is it right to do it? Oh, I really need it. No, it's going to cost money. It's going to put more pressure on. And eventually, I had a conversation with someone, and they were like, just do it. And so I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to make the decision. I'm just going to do it. And as soon as I did it, it was the best decision that I ever made. And it took so much time off, it alleviated so much pressure. It allowed me to sit down and kind of focus a bit more on the business. And it's also, allowed me to spend more time on what I like doing, which is, working with clients.
Yeah.
So that was really difficult, and we're now in that phase again. But having learned that from before, I'm a little bit more proactive with it now. So
Okay.
I know that we are getting busier. We are doing great work with clients. We're getting referrals. So I know that's coming down the road, and I know that actually we kind of need more support. So we're probably doing it sooner than we needed to, but we're doing it because then we can implement the right person and embed them. So when it does get busier, hopefully,
Yeah.
they're there to then obviously support. So I found that really, really difficult. The other probably big one for me was, with any probably business is cash flow when you first start.
Right.
When you don't, there's lots of different moving parts to a business, and there are kind of different elements and different challenges and different just obstacles that you just don't ever envision would ever be there. And sort of cash flow in terms of kind of when money comes in to when kind of things go out. There was a time right at the beginning that we were kind of on month to month, as in like kind of there was a few
Right.
days in between kind of we're being in a good place and then being in a really bad place, basically. But and again, sort of over time, again, you kind of know that, and you know what you need to kind of sleep well at night, and what sort of levels you need in the business for you to be able to just kind of relax. And I think we're certainly kind of we're pretty much there now for me, and that just completely takes the pressure off. So it's taken a long time, but I feel like we're kind of getting to where we wanted to be, which then allows us to kind of look to the future. Obviously, it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, isn't it? And you kind of look at the survival first, and you kind of
Yeah.
say, right, okay, well, we need to kind of survive. What's going to help me, have a level of security, and then from that point, then we can then look to grow.
Can build upon it. You can build on some solid
Absolutely,
foundations then with the right structure around your people and
yeah,
the systems and stuff. Really good. So if you
definitely.
had the chance to go back and start again, would you do anything differently?
I it's a really difficult question because I think some of the decisions that I've made, which has helped me get to where I've been, is because of mistakes that I made at the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what I'd probably be a bit more proactive with bringing someone on kind of sooner, and kind of taking that plunge. I think that it probably wouldn't have made too much of a difference in terms of the trajectory of where we are, but I think it would have made quite a big difference in that really young part of the business where you are doing everything, you are really stressed, and just having that one person to kind of speak to is, would be great. And also reaching out to kind of to other people. I think that being a business owner can be quite lonely,
Yeah.
and everyone's going through the same challenges. Speak to any business owner, everyone's going through the same thing, and actually, there are lots of people that I probably could have reached out to sooner, had a conversation with, to just talk through what's going on, and actually you realise that this is just this is just part of the journey.
Yeah.
So
And a problem shared is a problem halved, isn't it? That
100%.
process of
Yeah,
talking it through with
absolutely.
somebody, especially if they're going through it or have been through it, it's just so
Yeah,
therapeutic. And
absolutely. And I think you speak to any business owner, you kind of reach out to them, like everyone's so helpful. Everyone's there
yeah, it's very
to kind
true.
of support. It's a community. You'd be very rare unless someone's really busy, obviously. But I think still people try and help other people.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the kind of pains that people go through. So yeah, that's been really beneficial. Even going like when we go and play golf, there is sometimes we can just talk about stuff for
Yeah.
a few hours, and just yeah, all of that just kind of helps mentally.
It's all good stuff. So time, running a business, especially a startup, there's always something to do. There's always time challenges. You've got a young family, so
Yeah.
you've got priorities there as well. How do you manage your time? How do you prioritize your time to make sure that you're covering all the boxes?
And this has only been a recent thing, and this has only been recently since I've had Stanley. Was that I've started kind of on a Sunday evening. I kind of sit down and kind of look at my diary, and I've color coded now my diary. So if you look at my diary, there's different color codes for personal stuff. So me, one thing that I've been really bad with is forgetting to put me in my diary.
It's a very common admission. Yeah.
Like I do like going to the gym and stuff, like it makes me feel so good, but I do all this work and all this stuff, but I'd never put me in there. So I started doing that, which has really made a difference. And we also block out times to work on certain sections within the business as well. And they are like non-negotiables. So, if I've got to work on kind of marketing strategy or I've got to look at kind of payroll, I put those in as well. And that just helps kind of alleviate things. I think for me, I'm very kind of visual, so I like seeing. Okay, I can see we're doing. See, I can see all of these kind of different sections kind of coming together. Um, but the short answer is it's difficult. Time is difficult, and time is a commodity. I'm a big believer. Value time as much as you would value kind of anything else, and which is why we're going through the process of kind of onboarding someone else, because actually that wage is, I'm seeing that offset against my time, and that is equally as important.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good share. There's a couple of things you picked up on there as well, is prioritizing personal time into your diary, blocking it out, but also
Yeah,
the working on the business strategies. Because
100%.
starting up as well, it's tempting and it's very easy to go, "Oh, actually, as a prospect, I'll work at getting some new business, or as a client that needs something."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how are you staying disciplined in kind of not letting those opportunities sort of come into that personal time and to that business growth time?
It's hard, and it's really difficult, and from a mindset point of view, I think I'm still very much in that kind of new young business. And when you are just starting out a business, as soon as someone rings you and it's an inquiry, you want to do everything you can. You put everything down to kind of focus on that. But I think that you do need boundaries, and since having now I've got a young family, boundaries have become more important than ever. And actually, people respect those boundaries if you have them in place. If you don't, or if you kind of let things kind of lapse, then obviously you're not those boundaries aren't there. So people don't maybe understand where those boundaries, where that stops and where you start. So
Yeah.
um yeah, I find that just kind of getting to the end of the day, I also been turning off my phone, turning off my laptop. Just having that kind of separation as well has also been key. So there's been a few things. I still think mindset wise, it's still really difficult for me. I still want to jump on that inquiry. I still want to kind of help people. If someone says, oh, I really need your help, can you squeeze me in tomorrow? I do everything that I can to try and squeeze them in tomorrow, even though I know that by that one task, it's going to make everything else so stressful. But I will still do that, and I think that that's kind of just my nature. But I've learning to get better at it. And as your business grows, and as you kind of have that kind of security blanket, you don't necessarily need to panic so much about kind of getting business, um, and then your boundaries can kind of start coming in. So yeah, it's taken a little bit of time, but
Well, I think that sort of that tendency to want to help people, that comes through in your values and that sort of personal relationships and that sort of commitment to helping people. So that comes through in the sort of business culture as well, which is a great thing for your clients because they're getting the benefit for that.
yeah, definitely,
So in
definitely.
terms of, we talked about team in terms of growth and things like that. When you're looking for a new team, and what sort of things are you looking for?
So the main thing that we want to look for is kind of attitude. I think actually, there is a huge part to play. Whether they've got experience or not in a certain role, doesn't really. That's not the driving factor for me. For me, it's their ambition and their drive to achieve what they want to achieve. Many kind of moons ago, when I was still in the motor trade, I was a mechanic, and I wanted to go into sales. And every single person, every single dealership that I approached just turned me away, shunned me away because I didn't have any experience in
Experience,
sales.
yeah.
but I had all the right motivations and all the right attitude to do that job. And eventually, when someone gave me the opportunity, I was their top salesman within a couple of months.
Yeah.
And so I think that for me, that has always stuck with me. And I like giving the opportunity for maybe someone that might not necessarily have the right opportunity because of their experience, but has the right attributes to be able to do the job and obviously has the right desire to do it as well.
So another benefit of looking at that recruitment piece a bit earlier, so you've then got the time to be able to sort of support, train, educate, and do the things that you need to do, because you can train those skills, like you say, if the attitude's right,
Absolutely. Yeah.
train for the skills, hire for the attitude. Really
Definitely.
good.
Definitely. And they got and also, value. So as you touched on, our values are so important to us.
Yeah.
We really do like giving back to the community. We like kind of being kind of trusted and well known, and we kind of do everything that we do for charity. Um, and we want someone that aligns with those values as well, so it's kind of very much what we want is, looking for someone that has the values and the attitude. And I think that is by far the most important thing for what we're looking for.
Sounds good. Sounds good. You're clearly ambitious, clearly driven. It looks like the future's going to be bright for you. Looking forward to keeping an eye on seeing where the growth goes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Before we wrap up, it'd be useful. Where can our listeners go to sort of find out a bit more about what you guys are doing, what you're up to, and to reach out and get in touch if they need to?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you can go onto our website. So if you go onto Dave Southby FP, which is Dave Southby Financial Planning, that's on our website. You can see kind of what we're doing, or reach out on LinkedIn, or any sort of social media. Come find us, drop me a message. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with anyone.
Sounds good. Dave, thank you very much for your time.
Right, David, thanks for having me. Cheers.